You have to feel a little bit sorry for Brandon Drury. He left spring training as the Yankees' starting third baseman and played pretty well until an injury knocked him out of the lineup. In his absence, Miguel Andujar has seized his position. That leaves Drury languishing in AAA. Not surprisingly, the talented infielder isn't happy to be there. His recent comments to the press make it very clear he wants to return to the Bronx very soon. The only challenge is there really isn't a great spot to insert him in Aaron Boone's day-to-day lineup. The obvious solution would be to trade Drury for help at another position. That's a lot easier than it sounds. The fact that he's a young, proven starter at the major league level makes finding equal value for him a challenge. Brian Cashman's job is even more difficult when you consider the fact that the Yankees still have 3 more years of arbitration control over the talented infielder. Add it all up and it's clear he is a really valuable asset. As such, the team has to get something meaningful in return if they elect to deal him. Finding a team that's willing to sell an important piece in exchange for a non-prospect can be tough as the trade deadline nears. In the end, odds still favor Drury staying in pinstripes for the remainder of the year. He's a versatile player who gives the organization depth at multiple positions. He isn't happy in AAA, but that's not Cashman's major concern. If the team does look to deal Drury, they'll want significant help at another position. Keep an eye on these 5 players as potential trade targets. Anaheim, California, June 3, Shin-Soo Choo. Photo by Jane Caminancia, Getty Images. The biggest obstacle standing in the way of a deal regarding Drury and Rangers outfielder Shin-Soo Choo is the massive amount of money still owed to Choo. As such, the Rangers would likely have to include an additional asset to make a deal work. The Yankees aren't going to assume the $42 million Texas owes him over the next 2 years without getting something worthwhile in return. No Yankees fans, that something won't be Cole Hamels, but this could serve as the framework for a larger dealing including the talented left-hander. Absorbing Choo's contract would more likely earn the Yankees a prospect or a lesser-regarded regular. Someone like Doug Fister or Jurickson Profar could tempt Cashman into paying the cash for Choo. While Choo is drastically overpaid, he's still a plus hitter at the plate for the Rangers. His average of .267 isn't going to blow anyone away, but he does have 11 home runs on the season. Would give Boone an excellent fourth outfielder who could also pinch hit late in games. Choo could also serve as a valuable DH against right-handed pitching. Drury's appeal to Texas is that he could provide an immediate upgrade over any of their infield starters. He isn't going to emerge as an all-star, but he can help the group become much more competitive in the short term. This deal would likely become a much larger transaction between the two sides, but don't be surprised to see substantial talks occur between the Yankees and Rangers in the coming weeks. Page 2. Use your arrows to browse Pittsburgh, PA, May 18, Kirby Yates. Photo by Joe Sargent, Getty Images. Yates isn't the first Padres arm the Yankees would like to get their hands on, but he's probably the top option San Diego would give up in a deal for Drury. Any discussions between the two teams would start with Cashman wanting to discuss Tyson Ross, Brad Hand, or Craig Stammen. Any of that trio could provide Boone's pitching staff with an immediate boost. Unfortunately for the Yankees, each will be in high demand as the trade deadline approaches. That might leave Yates as a consolation prize that New York would still find intriguing. He doesn't have great stuff, but it's hard to argue with his effectiveness this year. His 1.08 ERA in 25 innings pitched would give the Yankees another reliever to use in high-leverage situations. It's unlikely Yates can hold that level of performance all season long, but he still profiles as an above-average relief pitcher. The only question about a Yates-Drury swap is whether or not the Yankees would be willing to pull the trigger. They might want a little more for an infielder who profiles at least as an average regular. If they're willing to accept Yates for Drury straight up, San Diego would accept it in a heartbeat. Use your arrows to browse.